Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got live tournament action coming at you. It will be on GSL's dual site. Felvo and brtnyzerg going to be a nice ZvZ here heading into the semifinals. And we have a special treat. We're going to have Wendy on the line with us tonight. Wendy, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. How are you doing right now?
You know what? Let me tell you. I am doing exceptionally well. And
That's good to hear.
Oh, let me tell you why. This is the clincher here, man. It is because I have had a phenomenal admin out there tonight, taking care of all of my troubles.
Oh, I'm getting chills.
And that is
I really
you.
am. I am getting chills.
That is you. Thank you so much for coming out and doing that. He's been acting as our admin this evening, and that is so incredibly helpful. I can't even tell you how nice that is, because then I can continue casting. All I have to do is message a couple people in game and say, ask alt-admin, ask alt-admin, ask alt-admin. That is super easy. That I can handle over and over again. You know what I mean? But trying to make decisions,
you can have that copy-pasted. You can just Control-V, problem solved.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's super nice to have that. It makes the cast, I think, go a little bit faster, and it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, and I have to congratulate NJX tonight. She did a great job casting. I know her mic was a little hard to hear, and those situations are always difficult to resolve, but I have to compliment her. She did really well.
Oh, I thought so too, and I think it's neat that she had some friends and family come out to support her and watch the cast. She said,
"Oh, really? That's awesome. That's really awesome."
Yeah, she said she was getting some nice messages from her parents and things like that, saying how good she was doing. I have to agree. I mean, she really is well spoken. And has got pretty decent game knowledge, especially considering that she's a lower level player in her own right. She's got some pretty good game knowledge.
Oh yeah, and looking at the game, it looks like it was a 13 gas 12 pull out of brtnyzerg, which is a little bit more aggressive than your standard 14-14. But it's also super safe, which is true, because if your opponent is doing six pulling you, you can get that pull out a little bit sooner, a little bit easier to defend. And if your opponent just goes for some kind of standard 14-14, 14 extractor, 14 pull, you're not that far behind. So it's becoming part of the metagame, especially on a map like Dual Site, which is incredibly open. Look how big that natural is. I mean, I'm sure you're well aware.
Oh, absolutely. It is very open. There's two huge pathways into it, and yeah, I mean, it's very easy to mount an attack here at this natural. So yeah, you got to be careful early game. It's not as defensible as you might think. Now you can pretty easily keep people out of your main in this defensive position, because the positioning of the the hatchery actually starts to close off this ramp a little bit, and then with good placement of one spine crawler and an evolution chamber, you can keep that out. But obviously here in the ZvZ, it's going to take just a little while before we see that. We've got Felvo cruising out across the field here with a couple lings. Looks like for map control mostly, but he's going to poke in here nonetheless.
Yeah, and it looks like brtnyzerg being incredibly greedy, going for no lings, just getting 4 lings now. I think it'll be okay. It looks like he's well aware of the timing of this map. Maybe he's quite familiar with it. It is a very tournament-friendly map. You don't see it of course, it's on the ladder, but it's pretty much in every tournament out there. I believe it's still even in the GSL. So any players like brtnyzerg who's participating in a lot of our tournaments, and look at that timing. There's 1 ling inside the base, but he has 4 out there to deal with it.
Yep.
And I do have to note, though, that Felvo has 2 guys in gas, and I really like that. It's going to allow him to get out of Baneling Nest and get some ultra or semi-aggressive Banelings. He can do a lot with that, and I think that's a really smart decision. Whenever I play Zerg, I like to leave 2 drones in gas, just because, you know what, if I feel like my opponent has gone for a really aggressive build, I'll have more than enough Banelings to do with it, and I can even put on some counter pressure. So Felvo's doing a really good job doing with that, but this could be bad. Look at this. That queen is starting to go for the Overlord. Now, what do you think? If that Overlord goes down, do you think Felvo's going to respond with aggression, or is he going to kind of just try to mac her up seeing that?
I don't know. It doesn't look like he's quite going to get the kill on it, but I mean, here we see brtnyzerg was in a forward position, lost 1 ling here, and is now trying to back out as quickly as possible, but that Overlord does make it away for Felvo, and that's big. I mean, if he did lose that, I think that we could have seen brtnyzerg go for a big push.
Yeah.
This queen is in danger here, and this is big
No, it's
news.
going to die. Yeah, this is really bad.
Yeah,
and he wasn't able to get lings out in time to help actually use the queen. Queens are great against Zerglings because they do 2 attacks, even though it's very little damage. But with the help of lings, they can take out wing attacks from your opponent very, very easily. So it really depends on your situation, and that's why ZvZ is becoming kind of a really much more refined matchup. Like you can see how brtnyzerg only got those few lings out in time to deal with the opponent. But meanwhile, 2 have run into the base of brtnyzerg. They might morph into Banelings. and that could just run right into the middle line and do all kinds of damage. I don't know if brtnyzerg knows they're there, and he does not have vision. There they go. They are morphing to banelings, so make sure to keep an eye on those.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to watch that. We've got brtnyzerg with 4 banelings in a forward position here as well. Looks like we're going to try and annihilate some zerglings.
Yeah. They all might go down. Two running up to the main, going to attack the other banelings. The other banelings are running back, and all the banelings are now cleared off the field. And oh wow, look at that whole position on those drones. So smart from Felvo.
And look at that, brtnyzerg did catch wind of those banelings and took them out back in his own base. So that's good. I think Felvo held on pretty solidly there defensively at his natural, but he did lose that, those forward banelings that were in the backside of the main there in pretty decent time.
Yeah, it's interesting. No workers have gone down this game for either player, despite all this kinds of crazy aggression. Oh, good baneling hit. One going off, getting a lot of lings, one attack. So this is a good position for brtnyzerg, even though supplies are pretty even. But Felvo is so high in the drones. 25 versus 30 drones in ZvZ is huge.
Yeah, Felvo really taking that economic lead. That's kind of strange to see. You usually see people, try and keep their drone count low, keep it very aggressive here. But Felvo's doing kind of the opposite. He's trying to be as defensive as possible. There's a ling run by into the natural Felvo, though. One baneling is there to defend if brtnyzerg gets a few lings, but there are more lings out now, plus a spine coil on the queen, but he is going to go ahead and pick off the queen. Good decision there, and even getting a few more lings of his own. And banelings already up to the main. But the other banelings of Felvo do detonate him. Oh, wow, man, this is a good ZvZ. It's action-packed. It is action-packed. And brtnyzerg, we've seen time and again so far this evening, just with phenomenal control, and that's what we're seeing here yet again. But Felvo is way ahead in the supply count, and most of that, we must say, is... Well, actually, I take that back. brtnyzerg has caught up because of some of the kills, so I guess it is all army at this point. But Felvo's got a nice-looking economy and a solid little army base here, and it looks like brtnyzerg is going to be moving out. Felvo does have great map control, so sees everything coming. Look at how many of these overlords is all over the field. You know what? If I were brtnyzerg at this point, I'd probably transition into mutas. Just take out all those overlords, man. That would really be good stuff there. We'll see how he's going to proceed, but right now he has to play a little defensively. He knows the size of Felvo's army, and here it comes. Felvo getting himself into position. Probably going to see some forward banelings here. No, maybe not. He's backing out.
Yeah, look at that. I'm kind of surprised he backed out there, but brtnyzerg does have banelings. But one thing of note, Felvo's lair is about 10 seconds away from finishing. brtnyzerg is just starting his now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's huge. I mean, that could be make or break this game. Unless brtnyzerg has some big kind of backup plan. He is ahead by 1 drone, but unit counts and economy, he really doesn't have much going for him. No macro hatch, no third base does go down for Felvo. So, but lings are into the main. 2 banelings there to clean up a good portion. One only detonates in a couple, but look at the flank on that. So that's pretty big. That is pretty big.
Yeah, and those roaches came in pretty handy there as well. Now, it looks like we're going to see Felvo go for... What is he doing here? He's got his lair. He's taking a third, too. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's doing. Do you think that he's going to go for air play or not? I'm mystified, to be honest.
Considering the fact he's taking his natural gases so late and the fact that he is only now just getting roach speed, and I don't even think he has an evo chamber out, to be honest. No, he doesn't. I'm going to assume he's probably going to stick with roach infester. If you're going to go mutas, especially in ZvZ, you need to have that economy already started for mutas. It's not the kind of economy you can just pick up, because the whole intention of mutas is to stockpile gas till about 1,900, depending on how much you want to do. But lings are coming over into the third of brtnyzerg. Roaches are here to clean it up, but brtnyzerg now identifies this as a weak point. With lings out in the map, roaches are not very quick, even with roach speed compared to lings and on creep, which is always present in ZvZ. Right. It could be very hard for Felvo to hold down that third, and that's why I kind of prefer macro hatch before you take a third in ZvZ.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like brtnyzerg responding in kind, though. When he saw that third, went ahead and took a third of his own. He's got that going down. It's about to be complete here. And he's got pretty decent presence on the map here. I still think Felvo has got that solid map control, and it's playing in his favor there. He gets to see anything coming out across the field, but we can't discount brtnyzerg's position here. And I think it's still anybody's game at this point. Notice the economy is extremely even, 51 to 50 there in the drone count. But the transition here for brtnyzerg is looking really solid. It's a lot of roaches.
Yeah. Looking to the third of Felvo, though. There's 3 banelings coming in. They're going to get a decent number of hits on the baneling. Oh, the drones are running away, but I don't know how many I needed to get. Only 6 worker kills in that. So good job for brtnyzerg. Not the best exchange, but hey, any bit of damage at this point in time in ZvZ. But look at Felvo. Look how many he just droned back up to 64 to 51 drones, and that's going to be.
Yeah.
Pretty significant. But, man, if you look at the army supply count, 26 supply in army for Felvo, 60 for brtnyzerg. brtnyzerg might just be going for a +1 timing, plus, 1-1 roach push with the hydras behind it.
I agree, and we do see the infestation pit though coming out for Felvo, and that's gonna, if you can get these infestors out in time, that can really make a game-changing play here in that roach versus roach battle, and it'll come down to how much brtnyzerg is able to get out as far as the as far as the hydralisk numbers, as well as the split that he can get out on his roaches. And right now he's keeping his roaches split up very well. He's dealing with these zergling run-bys, I think, in pretty decent time, picking up a couple losses here and there, but all in all, this is a very even matchup. This is actually quite exciting.
Yeah, and I have to say brtnyzerg is definitely in the better position, even though his economy isn't as strong as Felvo's. In ZvZ, it's been said by many pros alike, and in my opinion, you really don't want to get up to that 75, 80 drone count that a lot of Zergs like to get to. You want to stay 68 to 72 at most, and it's just because of the Zerg nature of being so volatile. But here goes a roach engagement at the third. brtnyzerg kind of attacking the choke, but he does have 1-0, whereas the opponent does not. I think +1 actually, +1 Carapet's finish, and you can see how much an advantage those upgrades again. He will pick this third off, and well, a good number of roaches and drones.
And he may even continue this engagement. I feel like he's ahead in the in the army there, and I'm actually fairly surprised that he's backing out. Looks like he probably will go ahead and back out here. He knows that he's put Felvo on his back foot. Felvo's unit production is going to suffer because of the loss of that, and this is what it goes back to what you were saying. You got to take that macro hatch first a lot of the time in a ZvZ, and now Felvo is in this sticky position where he doesn't have the production capability that he really needs at this point. Notice that he's retaking that third ASAP, but is it going to be enough? You tell me, Wendy, because I don't know, man. This is scary for me.
I'd have to say that brtnyzerg, unless he does some kind of epic mess up, he's going to win this game. I mean, picking off that third, and Felvo is responding correctly by taking a fourth, and of course this is a GSL version with no gold, so it's not like he's going to get any kind of huge comeback from taking that extra fourth base. But it's kind of what you have to do in this position is when you're down and you have a base picked off, you need to get your economy back up and going, because before you know it, your second's going to be mined out, and your main is pretty close, and is getting close to mined out.
Look at these hydras, man. These hydras are picking off those overlords, and this is big. I mean, Felvo was supply locked there for a moment. He's having to produce. Look, he's got 5 overlords in production right now. And I think brtnyzerg's making the right move here to go ahead and max out the army and then go for the engagement moments later. +2/+2 is about to be complete. There's no sense in not waiting for that.
Yeah, no, not at all. But the one thing he's missing with this competition is infestors, and he's very late on those.
That's true. I have to agree there. And that could be a game-changing aspect to this. We got 4 infestors with roaches moving in right now. And brtnyzerg, quite frankly, is not in perfect position to deal with this. I do like that he was kiting forward there, but those fungals are really good.
Yeah, they are. This is a good position. Whenever you use fungals, you want to engage in a choke, as long as it's beneficial to the aggressor with the fungals, because you're going to be able to hold back the units, and chances are the opposing player is going to fall back. And you can see all these roaches are doing work against brtnyzerg despite having the unit advantage.
Right.
As well as the upgrade advantage. He just have +2 with this attack, and +2 armor is going to be finished shortly. So he is able to repel his opponent, and that's just because he has the defender's advantage. But that was a good attack from Felvo. He did what he needed to do. He needed to put on a little bit of pressure to his opponent.
Yeah.
Although he's probably
evened it up. I think he evened this matchup there fairly well. He is going to find himself ahead 1 base. brtnyzerg not far behind on that 4th, though. And brtnyzerg still with a strong army. The upgrade advantage does mean something, and +2 armor is about to be complete. That's going to beef these guys up there even more, and he looks like he's going to go for the denial of the 4th base, which I think is a smart play here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not that much time left for brtnyzerg, and I don't know if he's aware of the fact that his opponent is keeping up on upgrades. You can see that 2-2 is going to be done very shortly in about 30 seconds for his opponent. So here comes the engagement. Roach is getting kind of choked up. A huge arc for Felvo, as well as Queens there to transfuse, and the benefit of infestors to fungal if he so chooses, but I think he's just trying to take this out, and 2-2 is going to finish right now, about the next 10 seconds, and if brtnyzerg isn't careful, he could lose the game right here.
Yeah, I mean, the fungals here are going really well. brtnyzerg is behind now in the supply count for the first time in a little while, and starting to be a very big way. And while he's kiting here pretty well, he's trying to focus down your infestors, which is smart. This may not be enough, and we still see that Felvo way ahead now in the supply count, and he does still have that 4th base up and running. So I'd say brtnyzerg is now starting to find himself on the back foot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's to the point now where his main is mined out. He doesn't have his 4th, luckily, just finished up now, so he will be able to get back on that 3-base economy. But the main problem is here is he has no future tech. And look at his main queen, sitting at 200 of 200 energy. That is huge. For a Masters level ZvZ, you cannot have one queen spiking over maybe 50 energy tops. You're going to miss an injector here too because you have to micro, you have to get those fungals down, you have to deal with crisis management, but that's significant.
Yeah, this is way, way below what we're expecting out of brtnyzerg. Now, part of the reason that he's behind is he does find himself still behind in the economy. And I'll tell you, Felvo is way over in the economy, in my opinion. Like you're saying before, you want to stay under 75, really, in your drone count. He's at 82 drones. So
yeah,
he's
that's going to
start going for a spine crawler forest or something. But at this point, he doesn't have enough room for the appropriate economy. So this could be a blunder, but he's going for an attack right now. And if he can deny one of these mining bases, I think that we're going to find Felvo getting a GG out of brtnyzerg.
Yeah, Burrow both coming out for both players, which I'm kind of interested to see that's coming out so late. Usually when you get infestors, you get that Burrow upgrade because, Brofester hit squad, but engagement happening at the Watchtower, good fungals from brtnyzerg. He's going to get the better advantage. He's kind of clipped off the army. He's actually going to be able to pick off a lot of the infestors, and that's significant. That is huge.
Yeah, we just saw this turn here again. We got some infestors cruising in here. From Felvo. Oh, we're going to get a fungal down on these guys. Oh, he missed it. Did you see that? He whiffed that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty big whiff, but it's okay. He has a lot more infestors than his opponent. This is the main thing. Infestor battles, you need to conserve your infestors. It doesn't matter if they have 1 HP left. Right. As long as they can get off a fungal before they die, they are more important than any other unit right now.
Yeah, good question for you guys out on the live stream. What is the range of fungal growth? Answer that one. So good stuff there, but brtnyzerg, like you say, man, he's moving forward here. So what do you see as moving forward? Do you think Felvo's going to be able to hold?
I don't know, but I don't even know the range of fungal growth, to be quite honest. So that's a good question. Go Wikipedia that, because I surely don't know. But I don't know. This is a bad engagement for brtnyzerg. I mean, these spine colors pop before he can clean up this army. It's going to be a big problem, and I don't think he's going to be able to. Oh, maybe. I don't know. This is why I love ZvZ.
He's way ahead here. He doesn't have the energy right now on his infestors, unfortunately, but these roaches are in such great position. It looks like they're going to be able to snipe this hatchery if they do turn and focus it down. I expect him to do that here. There he goes.
Yeah, and with the help of infested Terrans are so good. Doing 10 damage at 0.86 speed.
It's ridiculous.
Better than Marines, man.
Oh, yeah.
Can't micro them like Marines, but they do more damage than Marines.
Right. They're like a turret that barely moves.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised. Now their players going up the hive tech. Usually about the 25-minute mark, you're going to see players with hive tech and brood lords or maybe even ultras on the way if you want to lose the game.
That's fun.
I just love throwing it out there. Is tunneling claws done for the roaches for either player? No, it looks like not. And at this point, tunneling claws is an amazing upgrade. Not so much for being aggressive or trying to be sneaky, but just for the fact, like, if you get into an engagement and have to pull back, you can regenerate that health so much quicker. Good engagement for brtnyzerg. He does have the infestors there to help. The infested Terrans do and soak up so much damage. It's amazing what they can soak up. They do take two or three roach shots to kill a piece, so you can kind of see, like, infestors have a really strategic role in ZvZ, but there is a Brofester hit squad going near the main of brtnyzerg.
Felvo, this is a smart move for him, and there's no detection here. That's going to cost him a
lot.
But
now there is. That's a
good reaction from brtnyzerg. That is an unbelievable reaction there, actually. Did you see how quickly he fungled those guys? That was really good.
Yeah, and looks like there was some more. There's another infestor in the third, but it looks like it's not even going to matter. He's going to be able to clean it up. Yeah. So a good attempt from Felvo to try to do that harassment, but he's kind of on the back foot right now. He doesn't have any future tech. brtnyzerg now just finally starting hive.
Well, and look at this. Look how late he is on putting this fourth back down. He had to have this thing down immediately after he lost it. And so this is a big error, and this is part of the reason that Felvo finds himself in this position. He's on only one mining base, essentially, right now. I mean, yeah, he's got a couple mineral patches at his natural, but that's hardly mining. And you know what I mean? And here comes a 200-200 push from brtnyzerg, where, quite frankly, the units tab is pretty even on the harvesters, which means this army is humongous compared to what Felvo has.
Yeah, and it looks like Felvo's kind of reached the situation right. He realizes the base trade scenario, the only way he's going to really win is come up with the base trade, and I have to say that's a smart decision. He knows he's way behind. He's probably aware that his opponent has hive tech on the way, so he's going to go do the smart thing and try to do a base trade. And here comes an engagement. This could be bad for brtnyzerg, though.
Look at those fungals.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. This could be bad. If he's able... Ooh. This could go either way. There's a lot more infestors for brtnyzerg, so he's going to have less of a bulker army if... he doesn't get his opponent's roaches down. So I think looks like Felvo might take it. I mean, they are on 2-2.
Yeah, this is dicey moment. Nope, brtnyzerg does pull ahead here, I think. And nicely played. And I think this was smart for brtnyzerg to go ahead and engage this army. He has to feel like Felvo is going to be able to...
Oh, but this is bad. Look, all his infestors are caught out of position. He needs to burrow and get on out of there. Luckily, Felvo doesn't have a overseer there.
Felvo did get those reinforcements there just in time. Is now the nice thing, like you say, for brtnyzerg is he has held on to these infestors, and he's got a lot of roaches in production. Felvo not able to reproduce his army quite as fast as brtnyzerg is at this point. brtnyzerg does have another 4th base already up and running, so he got that in great time to have lost that 1 base, and now this engagement should go in favor of brtnyzerg.
Yeah, a little small flank of these 4 roaches, that could be a big problem, because if he's able to focus down just some of those infestors, it's going to help Felvo get back into it, but the reinforcing army of brtnyzerg is huge at this point in time. And this is when tunneling close can really come into a lot of play, because if he can burrow all these red roaches right now, they will regenerate up to max health so much quickly, and you can just push again. Right. Especially if your opponent backs out of a situation like that. So if you think about tunneling claws as more of a aggressive passive ability, rather than just trying to be sneaky with it and trying to get into your opponent's main and do damage, you're just able to regenerate health and basically remax without having to remax on actual units.
Right. Now this is a lot of infestors here, but I just don't think that this is the right move for him to be pushing in with these infestors where there is detection. Look at him losing these infestors. What is he doing?
This is a really bad situation. I don't know why he decided to do that. And with just the defender's advantage of Felvo, he will be able to clean this up, but he does have the better economy. Oh, but look at the third of
yeah, that's what he's doing. He's trying to keep his opponent guessing right now and keeping him out of position. I guess I can see that as an okay move, but I think he could have engaged that way better there. Moving those infestors in and losing them was probably not the best idea. But he still has way too many roaches, I think, for Felvo to deal with, and Felvo's doing nothing but producing roaches right now. It's the only thing he can do.
And once brtnyzerg's 3-3 hits, it's going to be a lot different of a battle. It's going to be pretty much to the advantage of brtnyzerg for the entire game, because I don't think there's no hive tech out for Felvo. So brtnyzerg this is his game to lose, to say the very least.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And his only mining base now is just about to be mined out. So I mean, he's got to make something happen right here, right now. Take another base and then try and make it happen here shortly. But what do you do? I mean, right now he's got so many roaches in front of him on brtnyzerg's army that he just can't push out here. And Felvo is really going to have to consider, I don't know, GGing, I guess, here. I mean,
he had the opportunity to go for that base trade, and he did, and brtnyzerg pulled back and fought it off, kind of sensing the fact that he can't base trade, and he could possibly lose a base trade. That would be the only situation for Felvo to win. But look at the food; it's 116 to 20. He's picking off drones that are rolling over. It looks like Felvo is trying to get all his drones together, get a few infestors out, and go for one big push before 3-3 hits, which is in the next 10 seconds. Yep. And that's going to be game. Once 3-3 hits, there's no way Felvo's coming to it, and you can look at that. And 3-3, even brtnyzerg taking note of it, saying, even the little huck face, as I like to call it, and GG coming out of Felvo. So, wow. Game one.
Beautifully played. I'll tell you, brtnyzerg, there's some dicey moments where Felvo was definitely ahead. I loved the back and forth here, and I'm glad that this is a best of 3 because game number 2 is headed our way here in just a moment. Thanks to Wendy for coming out and casting with me. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to these players for giving us such an entertaining game, and we'll be going into game number 2 in just a moment.